Morning, everybody. I just wanted to give you a shout out. Thanks so much for joining us. We've got several people from 5 different industries today, so I'm pretty excited to showcase some of the big changes that have been added and tested up to the back dashboard for the Summa Social. So kind of following up, this is Donna Newman, and I get a chance to always come to you every Thursday as an opportunity to showcase trainings, tutorials, and today I'm excited because the topic allows me to introduce you to 3 post and leap upgrades that we've just debuted, and it really makes your posting system for Facebook and Twitter so much more automated and so much more effective. And all of this will be found in the Summa Social dashboard. So let me give you a heads up on where we're headed for our next 30 minutes. First, we want to go ahead and show you exactly how you're going to be able to access these features. And the first one is the quick post in the scheduler. And this is where you're going to be able to save a lot of time because it keeps you consistently posting so your fans don't forget you. And then second, we're going to be looking at the brand new Autopost Admin View Panel. And this is pretty effective when you have multiple pages that you're going to be managing. That could be multiple pages within an industry or multiple pages because you have a couple of different businesses. Then third, that final feature, which is probably one of my favorites, is setting a daily auto post. And this is where you can choose an automated library that will post once a day, 7 days a week from one of our 18 different industry libraries. And this saves you a whole lot of time because there are trivia, engaging posts, photographs, sometimes links, sometimes best practices that allow you as a business owner to be able to stay top of mind with your clientele. But then it also allows you to come in front of them and just kind of give them some simple ideas, a little chuckle, some insight, sometimes industry news that's not always saying, pitch my business, use my business, I'm the best. So it allows you to create that engagement and really build a relationship. Before we head into a live access of our back dashboard, let me just give you 3 quick steps that you need to use to log into the Summa Social dashboard. And perhaps some of you have already used this, or this will just be a great reminder. When you are accessing Summa Social, you could do it one of 2 ways. You can see in the top left-hand corner where I have the URL. Just open up a new browser. A browser could be Firefox, Safari, Internet Explorer, Chrome. My favorite is Firefox. And then you just type in HTTP or S. S is most preferred because most people are now browsing on secure links. And then the www.summasocialapp.com. You can also access this if you get stuck and forget at the summasocial.com. And up in the top left-hand corner, you're going to be able to see the login icon. So once you get to this URL, you're going to see that there are 2 steps. And the first step is where you're going to choose your industry. You're going to not look at the company. Those are multiple enterprise companies that we have, and they have their own personal back dashboard. This one is where you're going to focus on the industry. And then the second step is where you're going to choose your network. And for purposes of this demonstration, you're going to choose Facebook. Then in step 1, when you select on the industry, you're going to have the opportunity to choose from 18 different libraries. And what happens here and why this is so important is that, remember, I told you the third thing that I'm going to be showcasing to you today is the daily auto post. So whenever you choose this industry, it is automatically going to allow your daily auto post to pull from the library of, for example, dentist, if I choose dentist, or it'll pull the library of realtor. Thereby, if I wanted to schedule my daily auto post to post every single day, stamping the wall of my Facebook page, it would be a real estate industry post or a dentist. And that way it keeps it very specific for you. Now, however, you can mix and mingle. Let's say that you are in the dentist and you wanted to do a little bit of chiropractic. You could actually go inside of the dentist industry and then schedule auto posts, either all of them or some of them. And then you could exit out and come to this page again and go into the chiropractic. Or whatever you would like to do, you have the opportunity to go in and out. And it keeps it very engaging for all of your prospects on the page, all of your fans. But more importantly, when you want more content going out, you don't have to rack your brain for what am I going to say. This is a huge advantage for you. Then once you're inside the system, you're going to be able to access the main home dashboard. So on our home dashboard, you have this tutorial right here. And if you wanted to watch that, it's a great way to get introduced to all of the brand new features and give you an overview of where you can go without having gone there. And that's a huge asset before you jump into these different features. So once you have headed down on this left navigation, you're going to see Engage. And when you click on Engage, it's going to drop you down to 3 different options. The first one is the Quick Post and Scheduler. Second is the Autopost Admin View. And then the third is the setting of the daily auto post. So now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go in and do a live demonstration of the Quick Post and Scheduler. And this is where, just like if you were on the Facebook page, you would create an original post. We've designed it, and this isn't new, but we've designed the whole functionality and the layout of our Quick Post and our Scheduler so it looks just like Facebook. That way it's real user-friendly. You are accustomed to it, and you know exactly what to expect. And so I'm going to upload 2 posts. I'm going to show you how easy it is. But the benefit of this is that you have a chance to be able to upload original posts and schedule it. So I don't know if you're anything like me, but I'm not a genius every single day. I don't have words dripping from my tongue and brilliant ideas every single moment of every single day. So I kind of go in this ebb and flow. I have a really good solid idea of what I want to do. I've got some good themes. So I put it together in a text edit document and then a folder of images, whereby I would know exactly what I want to say for a specific image, or I might have themes for a week or a month. And I have a couple of hours to be able to do it uninterrupted. Of course, uninterrupted is the key word. And when you do that, you'll be able to just automate everything into a scheduler so that it's posting to your Facebook wall, relieving you of, oh my goodness, what do I have to say today? And thereby you have a chance to be able to do what you love to do, which is cultivate the relationship with your ideal prospects on your fan page. So here I am going into accessing it. Here is the second way that you can access the Summa Social site. If for any reason you forget that it's the URL Summa Social app.com, you can just log in here at our top blue button from the summasocial.com website. So here I'm just going to go into Realtor. Now, kind of a word to you that in the event you don't have your industry represented here, I would just choose General. But I'm just going to give you the example of the Realtor, and then I'm going to choose Facebook. You will always get a blue box here, so you're going to just log in with your name. And for everyone, remember, it is your first and last name, unlike mine. It's your first and last name, one word, all lowercase, is your username. And then your password is your first and last name as one word, all lowercase, with the number 1 at the end. Security code is whatever you see in that cream box to the right. Clicking Submit. And sometimes the bandwidth, as our Summa Social app is connecting with Facebook, is a little overweighted. Obviously, they've got 1 billion people. So being patient is just par for the course. So now, as you saw from my slideshow, I went ahead and I just showed you that we would access it from Convert. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to click Quick Post and Schedule. And here, the page will refresh and it will showcase to you exactly the layout as we would have on Facebook. So simply, if you wanted to go ahead and compose the message just like you would on Facebook, one of the things that I would recommend, because sometimes if you were to copy and paste content from a Word doc, you might get some of the characters or the coding that's coming from the Word doc. So if you happen to operate on a Mac, much like I do, then I would go ahead and create what's called text edit. And so here I've gone ahead and I've created my very first one. Let me see if I can bring that up anymore for you. My very first one is I'm going to do a text with an embedded link within the text, and I'm going to do attached photograph. So my text is right here. I'm going to copy it. But again, you can just write it in original. There it is. Now I'm not going to add a link. A link would be what would pull from an outside source and it would give me an image. Instead, I have put the link, as you can see right here, embedded within my text. And the reason I did that is because I want to add a photograph. Sometimes you can't control the image that the link is actually going to be pulling for you. So in this case, I wanted to pull a specific image. So I'm just going down to my desktop, just like you would, going into one of my folders. And here I have my images for my postings for my webinar for today, and I'm doing my Pinterest collage. So you can see that Yahoo! Learn how to create Pinterest business pages, simple, satisfying, and scalable too. Good stuff in this video tutorial. Kamadana, and then I put the URL. So by pulling in an image, you can see that I have an image attached. This is the full image that will appear, the exact width of what's available on Facebook, so it won't be a micro image. And then I've added a little bit of engaging content. I find that people, so often we do not always want to be bombarded with brand new information. We have that every single day. So when you can come across to someone with something that's engaging and it's kind of social friendly, Yahoo! Learn, this is what they're going to gain. They're going to learn how to create the business pages. The outcome is going to be simple, it's going to be satisfying, and it's going to be scalable. So I always try to do something that's a little bit along the lines of alliteration, like the S's with those 3 words. I try to let them know that this is worth their time by saying good stuff is in this video. And then oftentimes I go ahead and I put my name on it because there's multiple people within the company here. A lot of times my fans are saying that they enjoy building a rapport and a reputation with people, specific people within our business. And this way it lets everybody know that I was the originator of the post. And just so happens I happen to be in the video as well. So here I'm going to go ahead after having added my message, and I chose I wanted a photograph. Either you're going to have a photograph or a link. And in this case, remember, I embedded the link within my text. And then the third update here is I'm going to choose my business page. Now, unlike you, I have hundreds of business pages that I'm an admin of. Most of the time I'm an admin simply because I'm participating in the design process. And then oftentimes I get a chance to work one-on-one with the client. So deep within here, I'm going to look for that cute little frog. And it'll give me an opportunity then to click on him, and he's the business page that I want to post to. Now also, the business page will drop down your personal profile. So you could also post this to your personal profile simultaneous with it going out to your business page. And sometimes that's a really fun way when you're wanting to post an event or build some rapport. Both audiences are going to be slightly different. Obviously, not all of your friends become fans, and oftentimes your fans are not your friends, so it's nice to have that crossover. And then the fourth option that I'm going to do here is I'm going to look at these 4 buttons. you're going to choose one of them. If I'm not quite sure about the date that I want to put to this or the content yet, I'm going to save it as a draft. And then that would appear right down here in this drafts folder. Or I could simply save it to my library for a future opportunity to use that image. Quick post is a post that will immediately go out. And this is probably not something that you necessarily need to do from this dashboard. It's quick and it happens instantly. Most important button that I think of these 4 options that you would probably always use is the schedule post. And this is where I'm going to put a time to that exact post. And as you can see, when I come back to this text edit, I want it to go out 4 p.m. on the 13th, which is later today. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the 13th. I'm going to click on 4 p.m. Selecting a time zone in here is Arizona, and then I'm going to add it to the schedule. And you'll see that it will refresh, it will appear in your scheduled posts, and it will automatically go out. And if you ever have maybe like 15 or 20 of these scheduled posts, you can always click on this folder here, and it will show you exactly the business page it's going to post to, the content of the text, the image, whether it is a JPEG or it's a link, and then also the date and time that it's scheduled for. If for any reason you guys think, ooh, I want to change the link inside or any text inside of that text, you just click here for edit. Or if you no longer want the post at all, just click the trash can and delete it. I'm going to show you one more. I'm going to go back to my text edit, and I'm going to do the first one I did with a link that was embedding to a video. And this is, again, a link, but it's embedding to an article that both Jim and I had written. So I'm going to copy my text, and I am going to add an image. So here's my image as it pulls to my computer. It's going to be our Social Fresh article. We were featured on the cover about Facebook content. And then remember, I'm not going to add a link because I don't want to take users off of Facebook and rely on the link that is pulled, that visual link that's pulled. So I created my own image, which is a snapshot of the exact article as it's live on Social Fresh. And then I embedded the link within my text. Just something that I like to do to add a little bit more visual value. And then I'm going to select my business page. And once again, looking for that cute little frog. One of the 4 options that I'm choosing from then would be I'm going to schedule the post, and going back to that text edit, it's going to be 7 a.m. on the 14th, and the morning is the most ideal time to be posting. Right before people go off to work, it gives them an opportunity to look at your Facebook, because if you deal with you looking at your clientele, you might find, for example, there's a lot of my enterprise clients who are not allowed to have Facebook at their business. They're only allowed to have LinkedIn. So this way, I get a chance to come into their news feed before they're actually at their desk and make a difference. Or if I post in the evening, I get a chance to linger in their news feed after they've had dinner, tuck the kids into bed, and then they have a chance to be able to go through their news feed and they won't miss my post. So here I am going to post at 7. I think I'm going to go 7:15 just so it's a little off the hour and isn't what everybody else is doing. And then I'm going to choose the AM or PM. So we're going to do AM. And again, my time zone is going to be Arizona. Adding that to the schedule allows me to have 2 schedule posts in here. You'll always get a confirmation that your message or your post is scheduled successfully, and then you can verify that within here. So again, you've got your Summa Social page or whatever page it would be, and if you had multiple pages, and guys, you could take advantage of this. You can let all of your business pages and your personal profile have the exact same post, and then all of that just appears to the right of where I have Summa Social. It'll show a link that will pull an image, or it will show the image, the text, and the date that it's scheduled for. So that is Engage at the Quick Post and Scheduler. Super efficient, very effective, and it allows you to have automated systems so that when you're watching people engage through a share, a comment, or a like, now you can start to build a relationship and engage with them rather than worrying about the production of some posts. And then honestly, that burns you out pretty quickly, and then you're going to shrug your shoulders and think that Facebook doesn't work, but it does. Remember, it does. Okay, so the second new feature that we've added is clicking on the auto post in the middle, Autopost Admin View. This allows you, again, this is a value, especially when you have more than one business page. And when you have more than one business page, you want to have an aerial view of what's happening, specific to what's happening with the auto posting, who's been working on it last, and if something went awry, you can hold the person accountable. So, for example, on this Arizona Dreamweavers, it's a real estate team in Scottsdale, Arizona, and we started with her on the 4th of June, and here's the date and time that it was last updated by myself, and we turned the auto post off. And then if I wanted to view the next one down, let's see, we would look at maybe best active adult homes for sale in Arizona. Janine Armstrong, who is the owner of the page, also an admin, had turned it on, and this is the exact date and time that she had done that, and her auto post is on. So if I wanted to go ahead and view all of the auto posts within her industry that she has chosen to pull within the queue that is scheduled, it would allow me to see all of that. So clicking on that allows me to see exactly the lineup for the exact time that everything is scheduled to go out. So here on the 12th at 5:30 p.m., that was already posted on the 11th at 5:30 p.m., and it allows the user to really understand and anticipate which messages are going out and if they need to have any response mechanisms in place or put somebody in charge of making sure that they follow up with likes and comments. The third one is setting your daily auto post. And this is super neat. Now, this is not necessarily new, but some of the mechanics of it are. So it is far more user-friendly. This allows you then to look at setting up a daily auto post whereby you are going to choose a date. Let's just see, I wanted to go at 6:45. Remember, I'm trying to get people before they head into the office. 6:45 a.m. Choosing a time zone is going to bring me straight to Arizona. And I'm going to choose my business page from here. So I can choose, let me just choose a generic one. We'll come over here. And remember that on the very inset of my signing in, I actually chose the drop-down industry of real estate. So I am loading up the real estate industry to post live to the WBYSM.com Part 3 business page. So I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to click Set Auto Post. So now the industry library is pulling up and getting ready to queue for an automatic posting to the WBYSM. And since I've already passed the 6:45 hour of today, it will initiate and fire out tomorrow. So here I have a chance now to click on the drop down. I click on View Scheduled Posts. I look at the drop down of that particular page, WBYSM.com, and the page will refresh and give me all of the posts that are scheduled for the exact date that they are scheduled for. So it really empowers me as an admin to be able to know exactly what's going out. Is it engaging? Is it fun? And here I can go so far as to look at something and think, maybe I don't really care for that particular post, so I'm just going to delete it from the queue, which then takes it out and pulls the next one up. and everything then shifts up relative to date, relative to the image itself. So now, having gone through it all, I like it. And I know that everything within that's queue for that particular page is something that I would like. So that, guys, gives you an overview of the quick post and the scheduler, the admin post, giving you that overview of exactly what's happening on all the pages so that you can manage it, and then setting the daily auto post. And kind of a hint for what's to come, we were working on this the last couple of days, is that whenever you get people to participate inside of your sweepstakes or on some of your business pages, you will have an aggregation or a collection of leads that will accrue within Convert. So I'm not going to debut that yet because it still has some wrapping on it, so to speak, and we are working out all of the testing. But that is the next phase. And kind of going back to here, whenever you come to the page, remember, one of the best practices is to watch the video. Just kind of gives you an overview of exactly what each of those functions here within this left navigation are. And then second, when you're wanting to initiate the engagement, just click on engage, and then you'll have the drop down of those three options. So now it's your turn. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the webinar control panel here, and there's a couple of questions loaded in here, and I'll answer them. And then I'll go ahead and just open it up so that everybody could ask the questions either within the question box or you guys can just free for all. So the first question is, are there best times of day to post? Well, overall, the best time that people are on Facebook usually tends to be obviously the weekends. And then the heaviest times that people are posting is from that 8 o'clock until about 6 o'clock at night. So it is just fine for you to be able to be one of those postings during the heavy posting time. But as you have more posts coming through the newsfeed, your newsfeed is just going to cycle multiple times. And oftentimes people, just like a Google page, when you're doing a Google search, they oftentimes don't go beyond that first page. So if you can schedule your business page posts to come out early morning or evening, whereby you know that you're getting them before, maybe when they're waking up or having a cup of coffee, and then you grab them before they head into work, then second, you can actually schedule your posts in the evening. That way your post is lingering longer in the news feed, and they will be able to see it once they head in, maybe after they've washed the dishes for the dinner, help the kids with homework, tuck them in, whatever it is. But those are the two busiest times when you're bracketing it during the business day. And then when it comes to the weekends, I have always found about 7:30 Saturday morning, Sunday morning to be kind of that magic hour when people are lingering a little bit on Facebook and they're checking in to see who's doing what and what's happening. So I think that that's probably the best practice there. Then, so 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. is another question. So that's kind of the heavy use time. That's the time of day during Monday through Friday that it is the busiest time where people are making a lot of posts. So I think I would recommend maybe about 7 to 8 being the latest part of the morning that you would post. And these are industry standards. These are not Donna Newman standards. And then the evening. And then when it comes to the Saturday, I think a good best practice at this juncture, and everything does change, but at this point, for the usage of Facebook, it's about 7:30 in the morning. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and unlock everybody. If you guys had any additional questions, whether it's relative to Post and Leap and the brand new additions we've added, or if it's specific to anything with Facebook and posting. All right, guys, you're all unlocked. How are you?
Good.
Oh, that must be Joel. Hey, Joel, you got any questions?
Um, uh, yeah, but I'd rather wait to see what others ask because mine's a little unrelated. I was trying to invite contacts through my Facebook and not allowing me to invite my Gmail contacts.
Now, when you were on Facebook, were you, and I can go to a live feed,
I was on my business page.
okay? And you were probably, I'll just go to one of the authors. It's one of our clients I'm an admin of. So you would go to edit page.
I went to build audience.
Okay, build audience. Okay, so I need to access her page from my personal profile. So
And Donna, we can do this another time if you like, because I know that people may have questions about the topic of the day.
no, that's okay, Jill. I think they would appreciate knowing this as well. Okay, so then you went ahead and clicked on uh, email
Yeah.
contacts.
Yes.
Okay, and where did you go from here?
Well, there's no Gmail, so I said other email service.
Yes, or other tools. Okay, so this is where you went. This is where I tend to go, is right here, is clicking on other tools. But you went here, and then what happened?
Well, I entered a password and it takes off, but then and loads, but then it just says it has an error and breaks down.
It kind of got stuck for me. Well, my recommendation, Joel, is to go ahead and use the other tools. I haven't used the other email service. I've used the other
Uh-huh.
tools, and that allows you to do the same thing. Um, so so that's a different email, but then this allows you, if you've gone so far as to extract in a CSV file or an Excel spreadsheet, all of your contacts from Gmail, and you can
Yeah, I'll have
easily
to
do
do
that.
that. I know how to do that.
Okay, so I'd recommend that, and then you just upload that file here, and I think this is more effective if you got stuck there. I know this one works.
Okay. And just a quick note, I don't know if you saw my email regarding MailChimp. Did you see that?
I didn't.
Oh, I sent an email a couple of days ago. Maybe take a look at that and
Okay, you
what do
bet,
you
I sure
think?
will.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, anybody else have any
Yes,
questions?
Donna.
Okay, go ahead.
Hi. One question. Do you, I know you talked about the posting times
Yes?
being 7 in the morning, early in the morning on weekdays, or late in the evening on weekdays, and
Mm-hmm.
on weekends early. Do you suggest throughout the day we post without photos just to kind of keep people remembering our business?
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't think I would live and die by the scheduling parameters for times, but those are best practices, and that's where you're going to stand out a little more easily from your competition. And second, when it comes to just posting with text, I think
Yeah,
a really good rule of thumb, and I think this is Shauna, a
it
good
is.
rule of thumb, Shauna, is an image. And the number one element that is shared 10 to 1 on Facebook is a photograph. It's
Okay.
that photograph that engages us, that literally stops us in the news feed. For example, I go to a lot of basketball games. I watch a lot of moms and dads during the timeouts thumb through their news feed, and they hardly ever stop unless there's a great image and they click like. They don't do much commenting. It's only a timeout, 30 seconds or a minute, but
Mm-hmm.
they thumb through that pretty quickly. So I've
Okay.
seen it firsthand, and I've read so much research that it says having an image that's big and engaging, goes the full width of what's allowed on Facebook, is definitely far better than just a text update. But
Okay.
if you can only do a text, then you bet get it out there. That way you're staying top of mind with all of your fans. But try to couple it with a good image.
Okay.
Can
Thank
I
you.
can I add into that a little bit my experience?
Sure.
I tried to do both, like a couple of brief questions, like a little survey to get a reaction from folks, and I attached an image,
Okay.
and the focus went to the image and not the text. And so I kind of, if you're doing a little survey and you want to focus on that, I think an image might actually distract them from your goal if you're trying to do a survey or ask questions.
But maybe you could ask the question on the image.
Yes, yep.
So
Yeah,
like you can say fill in the blank and actually put it on the photo with a editing tool, maybe.
that's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
something else. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Joel. To your point, most people don't read text, as easily as they love to look at an image. So I think your idea, Shauna, is definitely a good point.
Okay, thank you.
Well, perfect. If everybody has no other questions, then thank you so much for the opportunity. And now just feel free to head back into the post and leap section of Engage within the Summa Social dashboard. And this way you'll have simple, automated ways to really creatively showcase your products, your services. You do it simply. You've got your automation. You've got your content already loaded up when you access some of those existing libraries. And it really just makes your marketing job that much easier when you're working on Facebook. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.